warm welcome to the virtual book launch for the Team Formula. Well, this is Mandy and this is Elizabeth, and we're seated today in Mandy's kitchen in Sussex in southeast England, and joining you online for this book launch.
Yeah, really looking forward to it, and it's going to be fun. We're not going to do it in a traditional style of telling you about the book, because we thought it would be more interesting to think of all the questions that people have asked us and then answer those questions for you. So we have some questions that we're going to collect, and we've got a little box in front of us and we're going to talk about those questions.
Great, so I've got the first one for Mandy then.
Thank you.
So, what research did you do for your book?
That's a great question, because the book is about teams and leadership, and it's written in a story format which is creative, and we enjoy that style of writing, which is different. But to do that, the research for our actual teams and leadership part of the book is just our beautiful learnings of over 14 years in this business of working with many teams and leaders, and seeing all the different characters in different teams and pulling that together and writing about it, writing about real everyday experiences that everyone can relate to. We also spent time travelling to different places, and we did have such fun in different places, didn't we, in research? So yes. Maybe you can talk about where we went to.
We've been writing here around in England. We've been writing in Stockholm, in New York, and in Oxford. And Oxford in particular for me sticks in my memory as a great place to write in. And we even punted around on the river in Oxford, or we didn't punt ourselves. We decided it was probably a little bit too difficult. But what we did do, we found a very nice young girl or young lady who punted us around the river, which was such great fun. And it gave us a chance to just observe the beautiful city of Oxford in a different kind of way. And I think our research very much has been around that, trying to get some of the atmosphere of the places that we wanted to write about.
Yeah. And that was great. It was just getting into the atmosphere, getting into the environment, which made us think about some of the things we were seeing. So if we saw two squabbling ducks on the river as we were being punted around the river, we thought, well, maybe how can we write about something to do with squabbling ducks and possibly squabbling teams? So that's how we did some of the research. Let me ask you the next question then.
Oh.
So how easy was it to come up with a title?
It wasn't easy at all. You'd think that would be very, very easy, but in fact we probably think the latest count was about 300 possible book titles that we looked at, right?
Yeah, absolutely. 300, over 300. And in doing that, you would think it's obvious. I mean, look at the title, The Team Formula. It's a brilliant title, but it didn't really come to us until we'd experienced probably having written most of the book, and then the main thing, having our publisher put a deadline on us and say, you've got to have it by this date. So it was pretty much up to the wire, but we're really thrilled with it as an end result. So I'm glad we didn't go with the first one we had, which... Well, if you carry on watching the website later on, we're going to share some of our book titles with you.
And that also means that for our next book, we don't know the title of that one either. But I think we've understood this time that it can wait a bit. We don't need to know that yet.
We're okay with it.
Okay, next one. Oh no, actually that one we have had already. Okay, we'll go for another one. Why should people read this book? How is it different from other leadership books?
Yeah, and that's a question we get asked a lot, don't we? We get that a lot. Why is it different? It's different because it's written in a story format. So it is about real characters, real people. It's written in a story way, so people really engage with stories. We know that. We're great storytellers, and we wanted to tell the story in that way. And it's very engaging. It's 3 or 4 hours to read the book, so you can do it quickly on a plane, on a train. The learning comes through the story, through the characters. And someone's written in a review, there's a learning every line. There's not quite a learning every line, but there's lots of learnings. And people enjoy learning and remember things more effectively if you write the stories. So it's very different from that perspective. It's also different the feelings aspect's different as well, isn't it, Elizabeth? So you talk about the feelings. That was
what we wanted to do in the book as well is we didn't want to just describe what goes on in a team. We also wanted to describe something about how people feel when different things are going on in a team, because how people feel impacts so much what they do and the results that they get. So we really wanted to bring that out and show that people, every person is one whole person. They're not a work person and a private person. So whatever goes on for them, they will bring to all aspects of their life. So they need to understand more about how things affect them and how they deal with those feelings. So we've included some of that in the book as well. And there is the leader in the book, his name's Stephen, and he actually has a journal in the book as well. So you get to follow some of his thoughts all the way through, thoughts and feelings actually.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Good.
Do you want to pick another one?
Yeah, let's pick another one. Let me look at this. What do we have here? Where did you write it?
Right, I think we've already said
yeah,
that.
we have said lots of that.
But I have to say, actually, a lot of the writing has taken place in the kitchen where we are today.
Yeah.
And we've also written in cafes. We've written in a library, and there's a number of pictures that we may share with you later on from the library, and also from my kitchen and my dining room, and a number of different places actually.
We've written some.
We have actually written via Skype as well, because we haven't been able to get together all the time, given that Mandy lives here in England and I live in Sweden. We've also had to Skype it now and then, and that's worked as well, but it's not as much fun.
Yeah, we've Skyped, and it has worked, and it's also great fun to have interruptions on the Skype when we have family members joining us as well and giving us their input, which, you know, we can then always think, well, that's a great opportunity, we can write something about that. What could we write?
Absolutely.
It's been fun.